Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and today is our second class on para completion. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ayushi. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you've seen my first video on para completion that happened a few days back, 3 days back. And this is my second class on para completion. So we'll quickly revise the rules that we learned on para completion. We'll try to apply that rules to solving some more questions as well. Hi, Kinsa. Hi, Sanya. Yes, clearly visible and audible. All right. So guys, if you try to recap what all we had done in the previous class, we understood some rules that could be applied to para completion question. We also understood the types of questions. Let's have a recap of all that. First, what are the types of question in para completion? There are majorly two types. The first type could be that you have a paragraph and out of the paragraph, a sentence will be removed. The sentence could be the first sentence, the last sentence, or a sentence from between the paragraph. And you have to identify the missing sentence out of the options given to you. The second kind of para completion question would be half of the line is given to you. You have to figure out the second half of the line. So one line will be broken into two parts and you have to identify what should the second half be out of the options given to you. Both are examples of para completion or sentence completion questions. Now, what were the rules that we had studied in the previous class? What all should we follow to get para completion questions correct? हम क्लासेस कब से चल रही हैं? सानिया, मैं तो पिछले एक साल से ले रही हूँ इधर. Okay, but I hope to see you around often now. Hi Saurabh, hi Barsha, good afternoon. Good afternoon Sneha, Asmita. Okay, let's quickly revise the rules we had learned for para completion. The first rule we had learned for para completion was always use the knowledge of para jumbles to solve it. Knowledge of para jumbles. Kya tha knowledge of para jumbles? The knowledge of para jumbles was that two sentences will come together. Why will they come together? That is, if in a paragraph, the last sentence is missing, the last sentence will always go well with the previous sentence. If the first sentence is missing, it will always go well with the next sentence. You have to make mandatory pairs. Okay? So, making mandatory pairs is always important. If a sentence from between the paragraph is missing, it should always go well with the previous sentence and the next sentence. It should make a logical sequence. Only then you can fixate upon an option. Remember this, everyone? Yes? Good afternoon, Tanya and Suhani. Alright, so that's the first logic. The second logic we use while solving para completion question is that we have to always go for option elimination. That is, without reading all the four options and eliminating three, we cannot fixate upon one answer. Please do not go by the first option you read and you think it's suitable. Unless and until you read all the four options and eliminate two of three of them, you cannot fixate upon one answer. Now, the point is, how do I eliminate options? So, option elimination can be done with the idea that eliminate any option that violates A, the tone of the passage, B, the theme of the passage, and C, the scope of the passage. Now, what are tone, theme, and scope? Let's try to understand that. So, good afternoon, Diya. No, you're not late. We're just revising what we did in the last class. So, hi, Preeti. Please give me a second. Let me have a sip of water. So, while we talk about how do we eliminate options, we will always look at option that does not go with the theme of the passage. So, for example, if my passage talks about the Pegasus spyware, my passage would not be talking about CLAT में या ALET में कितने questions आएंगे. It would not be talking about CUET में कितने marks का English आएगा. Certainly not. That completely violates my scope of the passage. That is, it is beyond any reasonable connection. So that one option will be eliminated. But remember, in para-completion questions, you need to know most of the options are made from the same passage. So they might be talking about similar things. If not exactly same, they would be talking about similar things. The idea is those options can be a part of the same passage, but may not be a part of the same paragraph. Do you get the difference? A paragraph, one would talk about something. The next paragraph would talk about a similar thing but with a newer idea. Then the next paragraph would also talk about a similar thing. There should be a line but with a newer idea. So every paragraph will have a newer idea. So maybe the theme would be Pegasus. First paragraph could be describing what is Pegasus software. Second paragraph could be describing how this software is used. Third paragraph is describing who can use the software. So if my third paragraph has a missing line, my line has to talk about who is using the software only. Okay? It will not talk about how it can be used. So every paragraph will have a theme and I have to abide by the theme. So if my paragraph talks about the expenses, daily expenses of a person, my option will also talk about daily expenses of a person. Okay? Then one option that violates the tone of the passage. Now, how do we identify one option that violates the tone of the passage? Give me a second. So basically, if the tone of the passage is neutral, you have to stick to neutral being the tone. If the tone of the passage is negative or positive, you have to stick to it being negative or positive. Options can very easily be eliminated with your understanding of positive, negative and neutral tones. Very easily. Do you understand all the rules that I've explained here now? Can I move you to the questions now? Do you have any doubts? Hi Akansha, have you understood all the rules, everyone? Yes? Okay, so I think we shall move to the questions now. Here we go. Now the questions aren't very easy today. Okay, remember this. The questions are not very easy. We'll start with easy ones and in the end we'll keep the icing on the cake. That's a tricky one. Very tricky one. So let's see if we can get them correct. If the passage is positive and the option is negative. Yes, absolutely Diya. That's correct. Okay. Hi Shrishti. Chalo, let's move on to our first question today. But before that, if you're targeting to enroll yourself for any of our programs, right now is the best time because we have 25% flat off going on all our classroom programs. Use the code JACPOT25, enroll yourself if you're targeting CUET, IPMAT and PAT and all of the BB entrance examinations. Question number 1, here you go. A missing part of a sentence is to be found out by you. What should the answer here be? Give it a go, everyone. What should the missing part be? Everyone, give this a try. Ashmita says B. Okay. B. You know, logically it should be B. Yeah, it should be B. Absolutely B. Because though shows contradiction. So though it lasted for 116 years, still it is known as the 100 Years' War. So this part should be contradictory to this part. 116 years tak lasted for more than 100 years. Yet you call it a war of 100 years because of some reason. So only and only 2 goes well with the data 100 years war. 5 generations could happen in 100 years, beta. People who mark A, 5 years could happen in 5 generations could happen in 100 years. Thus, it is only this part that contradicts this part because of the word though. The answer has to be only and only 2. B. Next question, here you go. Now it's going to get trickier, okay? So give this a try, everyone. The internet was the work of dozens of pioneering scientists, programmers, and engineers. What should the answer be? A, okay, A. Everyone says A. C नहीं हो सकता answer. How did you eliminate C? I think the answer could be C as well. What is wrong with C? It could be like this. The internet was the work of dozens of pioneering scientists, programmers, and engineers. And from there, researchers began to assemble the network of networks that became the modern internet. What's wrong with C? Okay, सौरभ ठीक है, लेकिन सौरभ याद रखना ऑप्शन एलिमिनेशन इज द की. मुझे एलिमिनेट करके दिखाओ सी क्यों गलत है, तब हम फिक्सेट करेंगे ए पे. Elimination is very important in objective papers. What's wrong with C? Anyone? Exactly, Diya. That also makes sense. Plus, one more thing. Let me tell you. Already आप उसको इंटरनेट बोल रहे हो, वापस उसको मॉडर्न इंटरनेट क्यों बोलना है? Network of network is what internet is. That's exactly what is being explained here. Why do you have to go back to assemble these to become internet again? Internet is already introduced. To सिर्फ यहां तक makes sense with this line. The remaining part does not make sense. So 2 cannot be our answer. Exactly, Saurabh. बिल्कुल correct logic है आपका. दिया आपका भी logic is absolutely correct. And that's exactly why who is used for pioneering scientists, programmers, engineers, these people who develop new features of technologies that eventually got to become information superhighway we know today. So internet आज information superhighway बन गया है. Internet आज internet नहीं बना है. That's why C cannot be true, है ना? The answer has to be A. Exactly. It's absolutely A. Good job, everyone. Good try. Let's have a look at the next question. But before this, did you like the session? I mean, click on the like button. You have to pay me my Guru Dakshina. That's how you pay me my Guru Dakshina. You click on the like button, you share the video. Do that right now. And after the class ends, please comment under my video if you like it. Okay, here we go. Question number 3. This is tricky. This is tricky. I shall wait and see who gets it correct. Okay. I shall see. What's your answer? Okay, Akansha says B. ठीक है. One person says B. Preeti says B. Okay. Okay, and Ashmita says D. Okay. Kinja also says D, D, B, D, B. Okay, so I think the confusion is between D and B. Other people, I've got roughly 20 people live. What are your answers? I've got only 5 answers till now. Okay, Dia says D. D, Shrishti. Cool. Let us understand this. Vivek. Let me explain this question, okay? B. Then I think you're confused between only these two. Okay. So the incident ended Kopishni's young life and derailed Ted Kennedy's presidential ambitions for good. Okay. That means somebody died and somebody's presidential ambition ended. But all that happened for good. In the end, Kennedy didn't resign from the Senate, but he did announce he would run for the president in 1972, as many supporters had been hoping he would. What is good in it? If I continue the line, it has to be justifying what is good in it. If I add a but, I have to talk the opposite. This part is a positive one. I have to mention a negative one if I have a but. If there is no but, I have to continue the positive one. What's good about B? Derailed मतलब basically less important होना, अपने line से हट जाना, अपने mission से हट जाना is derailing. Okay? So, what is good in statement B? All of those who are marking B, what's good? It derailed his presidential ambitions for good. In fact, अगर आप B और D को compare करोगे, यहाँ but है, यहाँ it ended for good, but nearly half a century later, the details of what happened that fateful night remains murky. That's a negative one. This is a positive one. If I connect it with a but, that makes more sense. Does it? Instead of B, D makes more sense. Does it? Yes? Do you agree with me? So what should the correct answer here be then? Should it still be B? The answer should be a D here. Yes, the answer should be a D. B does not connect with the good part about it. Okay? Thus, the answer has to be a D for this question. Okay? Now, let me show you the next question. But before that, we have a free mega workshop happening on 24th of April, 2 p.m. on our app, where Ruindit ma'am will be talking to you about best universities offering BBA and management degrees under the CUET UG paper. Okay, don't miss out on the workshop. Please attend it live. Plus, we have launched a crash course on CUET UG program 22. You can call our counselors on this number and enroll yourself right away. Plus, this is the best time because we have 25% off going on all our classroom programs. Also, we've launched a new comprehensive batch for BBA, IPM and HM for 2023. So, if 2023 exams are your target for BBA, IPM, HM, then you can enroll yourself for this program right now. Do not be late. Call our counselors on this number and avail a 25% off on all our classroom programs. Here you go with the next question. Fifth one is the trickiest of all. Try solving question number 4 first. Okay, let's see if you get this one. What should the answer be? Everyone? Okay, Ashmita says C. Cool. C, Dia? Great. Others? C, 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 C. Sabka C answer. Do you even need explanation for this then? D, okay. But Akansha, is D not a half sentence? The question has a full stop. But this is a half sentence. When a person chooses to leave the workforce, then what? The sentence should be a full one. It's a full stop here. So D cannot be my answer, Akansha. Others say C. Do you need explanation for any of the other options? It goes really well with the remaining paragraph because retirement is going to happen at a life stage when you don't have steady flow of income. Thus, you need to start planning for it ideally this day you start working. So, C goes really, really well. Barsha, did you get it? D क्यों गलत हुआ? D आधा सेंटेंस है. D को अपने आप में कंप्लीट सेंटेंस होना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद ही वो फुल स्टॉप के बाद लगेगा. एंड बाकी सब हमारे थीम को वायलेट कर रहे हैं. रिमेंबर, एनीथिंग दैट वायलेट्स द थीम कैन नॉट बी माय आंसर. ओके, so A cannot be my answer, B cannot be my answer. It's only and only planning for retirement that goes with my theme of the entire passage. C has to be completing my paragraph. Exactly. Now, are you ready for the most difficult question, everybody? Okay, yes. If you are, I see a lot of people not liking my video right now. Please do that right now. I'll show you the most difficult question of the class and I'll see how many of you get that correct in first go. Here you go. Take your own sweet time. Tell me what the answer should be here. Guys, I'm putting my camera on hide for a few seconds, but I'm still live. Try solving this question. Because there's a power cut, I'll have to put my camera on hide. I'm live. Solve this question, everyone. Yeah, it's back. Okay, what's your answer? Okay. Dia says B. B, C, A और B में से D, A, सारे ऑप्शंस आ गए हैं. C. So let me explain this. D. Let me explain this question. You can alter your answers accordingly. ठीक है? The recent decision of the government of India to impose a moratorium on the release of BT brinjal has been hailed by civil society. So they are happy about the moratorium on the release of BT brinjal. The civil society is happy. The scientists are also happy and they see it as a victory for transparency and has demonstrated that the government is responsible for social demands. That means the entire moratorium of the release of BT Brinjal, civil society is happy, scientists are happy. It shows the government that the government is responsive to the demands of the society, and it's a very good decision by the government. Everyone is happy. Okay. This decision is also important since it could set a precedent within the environmental regulation. That means ये within the environmental regulation का मतलब क्या होता है? हम कोई regulation को नहीं तोड़ रहे, हम किसी भी rule को नहीं तोड़ रहे हैं. Our decision, the government's decision, is within the environment regulation and with the reference to technologies with significant environmental risk. We are also trying with the decision that the moratorium is to be released of BT Brinjal. It is within the legal framework and it is with reference to the technologies that pose environmental risk. And that's exactly why civil society, scientists, societal demands, everybody is happy with the decision. Understood this, everyone? Now, since everybody is happy with the decision, the world, okay, C says, however, the decision also reflects a clear departure from procedure and legal basis. यहाँ आप बोल रहे हो it is within the legal basis, यहाँ आप बोल रहे हो it is a departure from the legal basis. ये कैसे हो सकता है? आपने तो डेटा वायलेट कर दिया क्वेश्चन का, करा ना? Did you violate the data? Because question में बोल रहे हो कि everybody is happy because it is setting a precedent within the environment regulation. You can't say it is violating the legal basis. It's the opposite of what the passage says. C cannot be my answer. Okay, let's have a look at A. This establishes a clear case of ensuring legal certainty in environmental regulation, especially in the case of technologies with significant risk attached to it. Okay, do we have technologies? And is my paragraph, okay, let me put this pending. Out of A, C and D, Tanya says A, okay. Most of you saying A. ठीक है. A says this establishes a clear case. What establishes a clear case? Imposing a moratorium on the release of BT Brinjal. This establishes a clear case for ensuring legal certainty in environmental regulation, especially in the case of technologies with the significant risk attached to it. And let's compare it to D. The world is waiting with fingers crossed as to what this decision would mean for farmers across the world. If I have to choose between A and D and B, which one would you do? Sneha, that's when you open my YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep CLAT, that's the first video that you'll see. It's there, right there on the front page. Today I took only one class and that's visible on the past live streams. Okay. Out of A, B and C, which one will you choose? B. The process of arriving at this decision also had attached a fair share of media attention. Media के बारे में कहाँ से निकाला data? Do we have data about media in the passage? Does it go with the previous line of environmental risk? Exactly. Read what Dia is saying. A has replaced the security risk. Exactly. My children, the answer is a D. It's not A, it's not B. The answer is a D. When you think world kahan se aaya, it's like a conclusion in the end of the passage. Let me explain this to you, okay? So the paragraph talks about everybody is happy, but everybody is waiting to see what's actually happening after that. Is this decision going to help the farmers or not? So everybody's waiting with fingers crossed. कुछ hopefully बैठे हैं, कुछ doubt करने के लिए बैठे हैं with fingers pointed. And everybody is waiting to see how this decision is going to help the farmers. The answer is in D. What's wrong with B? The process of arriving at this decision had also attracted a fair share of media attention, given its sensational nature. We do not know if it was sensational from the passage. We can't come to this line. Possibly we can come to this line in a next paragraph where criticism is attributed to it. Agreed? What is wrong with B? A separate paragraph of criticism would be written. This whole paragraph does not talk about criticism, so you can't call it sensational. Did you get it, everyone? Got that, Ashmita, now? Decision ले लिया, पूरा world wait कर रहा है. Yeah, got it, yes. Okay, guys, so the answer is a clear D here. And please don't forget to download our app on Google Play. That is all for today, everybody. I shall wind up my class. And if you haven't seen my last 6 months revision video on our CLAT channel for the Hindu and Indian Express and the Guardian editorials, please watch it today. I shall come live again next Friday for a revision class on our CLAT channel. And I shall come live again on our BBA channel on Monday at 12:30. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a very good day. God bless all of you. Okay, Vivek, कोशिश करती हूँ. Bye, everyone.